wait, coffee.
Oh yeah, let me make the coffee. Be right back. Hello everyone. Good morning.
Good
If
morning.
you're watching this in the morning, good afternoon. If you're watching in the afternoon,
It's good afternoon.
good morning. No, I'm kidding. um, welcome to the first very episode of Picture Truth.
There you go.
Truth Pictures.
Picture truth. Picture your truth.
Picture your truth. Yes. So pretty much what we're trying to do with this is kind of like get deeper into the artist in the sense of like, you know, more into the brain of how
We work.
how we work, how music is created. Um,
Where it comes from, where it's stemming from,
right.
what goes in our day-to-days brains to let us touch, I guess, that artistic mind. You know, what goes in our heads, what happened to you yesterday that made you create that song, and etc. And also talking about topics like, things that we're watching,
Yeah.
movies, shows, etc. That not only pick our attention, because at the end of the day, that's creative, that's artistic, right?
Right. Yeah, we're seeing creative works, and it's
Get inspired by it.
it's part of the influence of future creations. You
Exactly.
know? So
Anything can spike your creativity. Like we were
exactly.
talking about it yesterday, anime. That I'm a big fan of anime for some reason, and I feel like touching back to it. I used to be one, like a big one, when I was a kid, but now touching back into it, I feel like obviously I see it as corny sometimes, right?
Yeah.
But then seeing it and going past the corniness, I'm like, damn, this actually, for some reason, I feel now more creative. I want to draw. Like I come from drawing, it gives me that initiative. But now that I don't draw that much anymore, but I write more. I'm like, all right, I'm kind of transferring that creative energy that I got towards the writing, and it's like, damn, this actually works. It's good.
You're painting or you're drawing with words.
Yeah,
It's a different
exactly, with the writing and the rhyming and all that.
It's a different way of writing. I feel like everything is just
Everything's
a different.
connected.
It's just a different way of doing it.
Of expression. Yeah,
Exactly.
because you can, movie directors express their art by directing a movie and
Right.
presenting it. An artist, a painter, expresses their art. Like, I didn't know this. My therapist told me that I don't know if it's Salvador Dali, that he used to paint his dreams, which is crazy because he paints
makes
his
sense.
dream to like kind of portray what he thought. And I don't know if you've seen his paintings, but his paintings were like crazy.
Yeah, like the freaking melting clocks
Yeah,
or
and
whatever.
it's like, how
yeah,
could you think about that? But that was your
yeah.
dream. You thought about that. So imagine if everybody was to paint their dreams. It's like, wow. Or how they say, record, write your dreams and see, so you can get into that state of a lucid dream and control your dreams and stuff like that. So
Many people will say he was on acid.
many people will say that he was on cocaine.
Probably.
Like
Wasn't that the same guy? No, that was who was it that bit his ear off or shot his ear off or cut his ear
Van
off?
Gogh. Van Gogh.
Oh, it was Van Gogh. Yeah, okay. Don't be Van Gogh.
Yeah,
Don't cut your
that guy was insane.
Yeah.
But that's another side of creativity where I didn't write this, but on the questions that we were talking about. But there's two sides of the coin where the creativeness from an artist can be detrimental or it can be beneficial for a person. How, like, for example, Van Gogh was detrimental for him because you get so dive into the creative side, and so get addictions may come in and stuff
Right.
like that, and you get you're driving yourself almost like insane for that with creativity and reaching those parts of, I don't know. I mean, I guess I'm ranting at this point, but then you have the other side of the coin where you kind of like drive yourself insane because you're submerging in the experience of creating, and you come out strong on the other side, and you realize, like, damn, this is me. Kind of find yourself in between. But then you can also get lost if you don't keep your feet, on the fucking dirt on earth. So
Yeah,
you
because you'll lose yourself fully.
in it, you can get, that's my point. You can get lost in it, and just simply I don't know. I mean, like, there's a lot of artists that kill themselves and go through those things. Like, I don't know if you saw, what's his name? There's this program about a chef that he would go around the world like cooking.
Anthony Bourdain.
Yes, how he killed himself, and it's like
Yep.
that seemed like a very, and that's another way of expressing art. That's art. Cooking is, being a
Yeah,
chef is
it's
art.
literally, yeah.
Yeah, and like just seeing a person, how you can see them before they literally passed away and got into suicide, and did the rest in peace. Sad thing that happened, but then you see them getting into that state, and it's like, man, how can the person so humble, or so, like, I don't know, like, so true,
and
so
and
pure,
and
to go ahead and
he
do that.
traveled the world. He saw so many things. Like
Right, and it's like, damn,
he
like,
lived his life. You know.
imagine so many problems that he had within, that he separated to create, and then when did that. Mac Miller is
He
another
didn't.
one.
Yeah, he didn't focus on the self care like Mac Miller.
Self, yeah,
Yeah.
literally. What's the other one? Chester Bennington, Linkin Park.
Yep. Yep.
That's another one that how, and I saw an interview that he was saying, you don't want to be inside my head is not the safest place to be at. Sometimes I don't want to be here. I want to be, I'm the parent, I'm this and that, but then those are the side effects of the creative mind, I guess. That you get lost in the creativeness so much that you forget to self care. You forget to do the maintenance in your brain and your body, because a lot of people don't take care of your body, or like, it doesn't have to be that you have to be Mr. Olympia or whatever, but exercising, taking care of yourself emotionally, what you eat, etc. Maybe people become alcoholics, addicts, things like that. They dive into those addictions and all that. So
Yep. Don't do drugs, kids.
don't do drugs, but if you do, have fun just for a little bit. We don't
Or
condone,
use it as a tool.
yes, we don't condone any type of usages of drugs for any type of things. So please don't.
Because obviously, if you need medication, obviously,
Yes.
if you're schizophrenic and you need medication,
Yeah, that's
obviously
a whole different
that's
topic.
that's
Yeah.
another thing. So first question: who are we? I guess I don't know if you want to go first.
Well, yeah. My name is Caesar Golindano. I'm an artist by the name of Matic. I've been rapping for, I want to say, 4 or 5 years. Yeah,
Sounds right.
sounds about right. Yeah, right. I just recently, this year, I started putting out music on all platforms, and kind of being more exposed onto the fact and showcasing that I am an artist. Always kept it on the low. Maybe for many reasons, insecurity, thinking that people are gonna pick on my accent. Obviously, my English is my second language. Even though I've been told many times that I speak it fluently and with a good dialect, I still, within, insecurities do come in. I'm from Venezuela. Came to the United States when I was 15 years old, and been here ever since. Fell in love with music about the age of, I've always been infatuated with music. Ever since a young age, I was performing in stages when I was like 9, 7, 10. My parents always saw, I guess, try to put myself into the artistic side of things, whether it's singing and being involved in plays from school and etc. Mind you, it was in another language, but still artistically, it's art.
Right.
And yeah, I guess I fell in love also with drawing. Like I said, I used to love drawing. I still do, I believe, but I don't dive into the topic as much because I kind of lost that love for it, and I kind of gained the love that I lost for drawing. Kind of went back to when I fell in love with poetry around the age of 15, 16, and I claim poetry, rap, hip hop, and music as is to be the main teachers and things that taught me how to speak the language and where I'm at right now. So I claim it to that, and then right now we're putting music. We have a podcast right now called Matic Mondays. Also, we're starting up this as an initiative thanks to Brent, yeah, man. Finding ways to open and express my artistry or art.
Artistry,
Whatever.
yes.
Artistry. Yeah, thank you. To everyone, and I guess connect with as many people as possible, because I believe, and I know that he also does believe, that we're not the only ones thinking the same way that we do. There must be people out there that connect with what we say, that resonate with it, and hoping that whatever we say, whatever message that we deliver, can help anybody out there. Whether it is because you guys thought maybe you guys want to be an artist and want to do music, but you feel insecure about it. Here I am, not my first language, so what's stopping you? Go ahead and do it. You don't have the resources to do it. We don't either. At some point, we didn't have anything, so we're here to inspire. We're here to connect and just be human beings. Honestly. So
Thank you for that.
yes, sir.
Beautiful.
Thank you,
Beautiful.
thank you.
Beautifully said. Beautifully said. I am Vibrant. That's my artist name. Real name Brent Varela. I produce music. I produce videos. I produce songs. I record people in studios and make sure that we create the best possible product that we can possibly make. We're actually shooting this at my house right now to, just get the ball rolling and get this coming every month.
Hoping to I guess, get it done outdoors. So that's an idea that we have too.
Yeah, we want to do like different scenarios, different areas. First we're doing the casting couch. It won't end well.
Pause.
But yeah, pause. But yeah, just hope that you guys enjoy what we talk about and hope that it's something that can resonate with everyone. And if you don't fuck with us, fuck it. But if you do, just give us a follow, subscribe, do all that fun stuff. Give us a like, share it if you can,
and see the journey. Follow the journey through.
Yeah, because we're just starting.
Yeah.
We're starting to share.
Yeah, literally.
Yeah, we're literally starting to share. So
and also in the hopes, like I mentioned before, like how all those things that he said that he does right now, there was a point in time where he didn't know how to do none of it all.
That's true.
We all come from not knowing anything and having to learn ourselves from YouTube videos, from like reading and this and that and jumping so much. We're like literally entrepreneurs towards our own artistry, like not. And I guess the message behind of everything that we're saying, and then the message behind us doing this is to, in hopes, like I said, to connect with anybody and give them motivation that somebody may need out there to go ahead and do this, as simple as it may look like. Mm-hmm. If it fulfills your soul and your happiness and your passion, then go ahead and do so. There's nothing stopping you. So.
All right. Now we got that out of the way. I have the first question today. So, Matic, tell me about a time where music interfered with a life situation and how you dealt with it and how you felt about it.
Most recent time that I can call out was at the beginning of, I guess I want to say not the beginning, but the climax of me coming back onto and having that fuel of creating and all that. Mm-hmm. Which was, that started in August last year when one of my girlfriend's dad's friend showed me and told me about GarageBand and making beats, and told me and kind of motivated to make more songs. So I got the ball rolling, got with Gabriel. Shout out to Gabriel Royal. He's not here today, but he should be here soon. Sorry. Yeah. And making all those things, and I was making songs. I think I had already like 10 songs by then. I was motivated. I was there. Gabriel was at my house that day, and then that was a Friday to Saturday. I fell asleep about 12:30, 1 o'clock in the morning. At 2 o'clock to 3, I received a call by my parents telling me that they got into a car accident and all that thing that went down with my family.
Yes, I remember.
So my sister was involved in a car accident with my family. My sister, she's 14. She was 13 at the time, 14. Mm-hmm. And she got basically the whole impact. She took it herself. My parents were fine, thank God, but she could have almost passed away that day. And I guess I blame myself a little bit because I had been invited to the event that they went to, and I didn't go because A, I was tired, I had to work the next day, and B, I kind of put my passion in front of them by not going and spending time with them, which is something that I felt, I don't know if, I imagine you have at times. I feel guilty sometimes of doing that. You're in the studio, but maybe you could be with your moms and things like that, spending that family time, right? So I feel like that kind of like put me back a little bit in the creative side of it, because there was a lot of emotions and tired, exhaustedness, and Saturday I woke up at 5. I didn't sleep the whole night because obviously I gotta woken by the whole disasters and all that. Went to work, left work at 12, from 7 to 12. Then went to the hospital at 1, was there all the way to 10. Then woke up the next day at 7. I got home and I tried recording personal.
Okay.
So I was already like, kind of like trying to, I guess, submerge the pain by forgetting about it. And
You were trying to use it. Trying to use that to
my advantage.
Fuel, to fuel the energy
and
that
passion.
you were feeling.
And I believe that
Right.
it did, because with personal, I recorded personal during those stages of where there was a lot of emotion and a lot of passion, which that's at the end of the day, that's what you're doing. You're delivering passion and a message through music.
Yeah, when you hear that record, you can definitely
Right, it
feel
resonates
it.
with you.
You can
It's
feel
passion.
it. Yeah,
It's emotion. It's
literally.
there. So and thank God for that. But there again, it goes to that dichotomy of bad things and good things sometimes do go hand in hand together. How something bad can bring the good out of you. And I think I dealt with that in one of the times where like emotionality stepped in a bad way, I guess. And
Right.
I try to connect both of them. And I don't try to. Sometimes I haven't. I thank God I haven't had a moment where I say, "Man, I'm so shocked right now. I can't even write."
Yeah.
But I always try to connect, bring that self of to like, almost like you can go to the if you're feeling stressed and then you feel bad about yourself, you can go ahead and go to the gym and kind of like work out. People say like, "Oh, be active. Go ahead. Do almost act like it didn't happen." And I feel like that's a good way to. Because you're kind of like driving that energy or that force towards a good way or a good action. So I feel like with me, that negativity or emotion that I was having at that time, I kind of drove it onto that avenue, which is hard to do. And I'm not saying that I will always do it. Could be I'm a hypocrite all the time. So it could be maybe tomorrow, God forbid, something happens to me and I don't do it. But I feel like that was a moment that I can recall like that. So
Yeah, and you've had a lot of shitty situations that happen to you, bro.
Yeah,
Like,
yeah. Almost things like you think about them and it's like, how did that fucking thing happen?
And how did you survive that?
Yeah, exactly.
Like
what was the other one that I've never. I guess I was writing at that time. But I wasn't as connected. Like with the time that I had an allergy attack, I could have died. I was running and I thought I was gonna die that day. I ate some sushi and I didn't know that I was allergic to that, and I could have I thought I was gonna die that day because I went to anaphylaxis shock, and your throat shuts off, you get hives and all that, and
were you driving or no?
I was running.
Oh, you were running. Damn.
Yeah, so I ate sushi. And I went out running, and then I was good. I waited for like 3 to 4 hours for digestion to happen, and then when I was coming back, I was already a mile away from my house, and my parents were not home. That was the time I used to live right next to my uncle. I don't know if you remember.
Yeah.
My uncles were my whole family. My uncle's family was in the pool, and I'm coming back, and I started feeling like hives and all that, and I started feeling like shortness of breath. So I'm thinking I'm asthmatic too, which top the thing is like even worse. I thought I was having an asthma attack, so I'm running back, and I'm like, damn. So I call my aunt, and I'm like, hey, I think I'm having an asthma attack. Like, just let you know, like, I don't feel so good. And she thought that I was fucking around because she thought that I was just joking, and I was in the pool calling her, making a prank. She hanged up on me like 4 times.
Damn.
She thought I was joking,
right?
All the way until she saw me literally like like these lines in the fucking shit on the sidewalk. There's like lines, right?
Yeah.
I was literally crawling because I lost my breath and my body was shutting down because I couldn't breathe. So I was crawling in. She didn't believe me all the way till I dropped my phone and I was like dying, like it's like one of those Black Ops zombies type of stuff.
Yeah.
She saw me. She was like, "Oh my god, what the fuck?" She said that my face looked like I was turning into the Incredible Hulk because like my shit was just kind of popping off everywhere. And then they were gonna wait for the ambulance, but the hospital was right there. So literally threw me in the car. My aunt was slapping the fuck out of me so I wouldn't like fall asleep because they don't want to let you like knock out because obviously this shit was shutting off. And then they took me to the hospital, and then last thing I remember was the doctor telling me, "Oh, it's just gonna hurt a little bit." And they gave me the EpiPen. Felt fucking amazing. Fucking amazing. It's just that drugs, obviously man. you go from don't do drugs. You go from like being like dead. It's like, yo, that hit is like shit, and and it feels like somebody stabs you, but it feels like a pinch, like almost like something bit you, almost to that.
Like a mosquito bite.
Yeah, like a strong mosquito bite, but then all the feelings and just obviously it's adrenaline, but all the adrenaline, the fucking force that you get is like, bro, what's that scene from Wolverine where he's like, he just comes out like, wow, like well, all this shit is like, I felt like that, but I was like,
he does the
yeah, like that, bro.
Bro,
I felt like that.
But he was probably in a lot of pain in that scene, though.
Yeah, like with that, but that's what I'm saying.
'cause
Like
he was getting injected with metal.
with fucking what is it, adamantium?
Adamantium,
Yeah, bro, that was sick, bro. That was crazy.
Sick ass scene though. Sick ass.
Yeah, but yeah, I felt like that, and then that was sick. But I mean, yeah, like he said, I had a lot of times where I don't even know how I'm here right now. That's why I guess I claim like what I'm doing right now, that it's God's purpose, I guess, because I could
God
be,
willing.
Yeah, God wanted it to be. So
yeah. For me, I've said like a few times as far as with family, and
Okay.
then with like my girlfriend. I would say, maybe I had plans with my girl Darian, and I forgot completely that I had invited a bunch of people to the studio, and I'm like, fuck. And then people are showing up, and like she's getting ready. I'm like, yeah. So I forgot that people were coming. I'm so sorry. And she would get mad at me, and I was just had that, like, obviously I'm not gonna kick them out,
Right.
the people, because like I had told them like weeks in advance, and like I just have that going on in the back of my head while I'm there in the studio. I'm like, fuck, bro, like how
you feel like shit.
how the fuck am I gonna like reconcile this? It's like, so I deal with that kind of regularly because I have the studio here, so like. Sometimes it does get in the way, but as far as with family recently, when I did the cipher, the freestyle cipher, I was supposed to go sleep over at my uncle's house, but instead I was like, oh look, I'll just because I have this thing that I need to go to, so I'll just drive afterwards. But it was like raining or some shit like that, and they're like, bro, you can't come right now because you're gonna be falling asleep. It's literally from here to Fort Myers, so it's like a 2-hour drive. While it's raining in the Everglades, fucking pitch black. They're like, nah, do not come. I'm like, all right.
Yeah.
I ended up sleeping at my brother's house,
Okay.
and then we went from there.
That was that day that I left to Sarasota, I think.
I think so. Yeah. That weekend. Yeah. And it was just like, damn, bro. Like, you do have to get things, either get your shit in order to like make sure you can do the things that you want to do,
Right.
or sacrifice
Suffer the consequences.
sacrifice those things that you also want to do, but like in the perspective of like music, like it's not as important, it's not the right it's not the priority, so I think it's like you got to find a balance, but sometimes when shit hits the fan, bro, like you have to make the decision.
It's difficult.
It's a decision you have to make.
Yeah.
And you deal with the consequences.
The balance of it is one thing that I also struggle with, because if we touching back to what you said with having your girlfriend and all that.
Mm-hmm.
Like sometimes the days off usually used to be based off of me having one day for my girlfriend, and then going out, and then I'll figure out a way to kind of like do something for them, and then the next day it's me. Mm-hmm. Then the next day is kind of me and her, and that's it. Balance it out like that.
Right. Okay.
But then it gets difficult right now. For example, with that we've been so active and doing a lot of stuff that it's like I'm kind of like on your case, that I
like,
want.
Hey, what are we gonna do?
And right. I feel bad even if they don't mention it, because in my case, Gabby is not has not been telling me nothing negatively, but you don't know what's going on inside of that person, emotions and all that.
Right.
Maybe they did wanted you to ask them that day to go out, just to go to the park and talk something, something small, and then because you're going ahead and choosing to do that, go to the studio type of thing, for example, or go to do the podcast and this and that.
Right.
It gets in your way, and that's just that section of your life with your girlfriend. It's also family.
Right.
With me, my little sister, I'm not spending time with her, so I feel like shit. I get home tired, and I'm like, oh, she wants to watch a movie. Oh, you're gonna come home tomorrow? I'm like, no, I have to do this, and it's like, oh, okay. You know, and they say, oh, it's fine, but then in the back of your head, you know that it's
like,
not fine.
right.
So you kind of like it's difficult. You know, you kind of like have to get your house in order, but then how do you get it in order when you're all over the place?
Right.
You know, so I feel like you always everything I've learned, or I guess I think that life is just about sacrifices. At some points, you know, kind of like those artists that they do and then we're almost in we always almost I guess in the same tip that they are trying to get that fame for their family, but once they get that fame, the family's not there. You never like you never seen those
yeah,
movies
yeah.
like
Yeah,
the
yeah.
artist goes all out on tour and everything else for his family, and then when he comes back home, he doesn't have anything. It's almost
Yeah.
like the
Yeah,
people that go to the military.
right.
They go to the military for the family, but when they come back, they don't have anything,
Right, because their wife cheated,
or everything is gone.
or yeah, they
You know,
left because you're not here no more.
And I'm not comparing military with art with creative
Yeah,
because that's two
it's
different
just
sides.
it's just in life.
Pinpointing, yeah,
Yeah, like certain things
areas that
that
maybe
yeah
you
they yeah because if let's say let's say a couple both had like super hard ambitions and whatever, and like they're both always busy.
the
Have you
kid
seen?
suffers.
Have you seen? There you go. That's a perfect example. Have you seen The Bear?
No,
You never seen The Bear?
no, I've been
Okay.
holding on to watching it.
Oh, you gotta watch
Amazing.
that. We'll talk about that. We'll
Yeah.
talk about that. But so in that show, is an ambitious guy, and then the girl's also ambitious, but they only have like one day to see each other. So like, it's
Where's
like,
that?
what's the point of even doing that?
If you're not gonna see each other at all,
Right.
But then again, it comes to finding somebody that are not finding somebody, but one other person in the relationship giving in as far as the relationship goes, because it makes it easier. Like for me with Gabby, sorry, just closing the name, but with my girlfriend, I right now I feel that she is so neutral as far as it goes, and I've explained to her as I imagine that you have explained to your girl that you know you're doing this because you're doing it in hopes of not only sustaining yourself but sustaining us
Right.
as a whole.
Yep.
And you know, don't worry about work. Now we have the time of the world to just be. You know, wake up in the morning. I don't gotta go to work. You don't have to go to work either. You stay home. You know, whatever. How we
Exactly.
talked about and with Willie. So I feel like with me, her, she is very neutral, which I appreciate, and I give her flowers too. Like even you know, I'm in the studio, she stays here in the couch, you know, in your house. She's just here watching on the phone, and in the back of my head, I'm there recording, but she's bored. You know, and I'm
Right.
like, fuck, you know, I feel bad. I gotta take her out now,
Right,
make it up to her. But she hasn't given me any complaints because it's like, you know, if this is what you want to do, I feel like you have to find that person that is willing to sacrifice a little bit of their time because not only they appreciate you, but they see where you're trying to go. They see
Right.
the future.
Because I do see when she does come here, like, yeah, like I feel bad too. I'm like, damn,
Right.
bro, like, and even Darian, like, she like sometimes she doesn't want to like interact with people, you know.
Yeah,
she's
exactly.
like she's
She's
not
just-
like she'll just like doesn't want to entertain nobody or anything. Like,
Right, which is
'cause
fine.
This is what it is,
Yeah.
you know. But it's like, but I feel like on some level, like it's like, but they're here, you know, they're here
Yeah.
supporting us.
Exactly. They're
know?
not saying no.
Right.
They're just
They're like,
go ahead.
you know, do your thing because that is what makes you happy
Yeah.
at the end of the day. And like
They accept
if
it.
they told us, oh nah, you can never do that again. It's
Then
like,
that's where the issue comes
yeah.
in.
Then it's like, all right, then.
Yeah. Well, bye. So
But no, but joking.
Joking
But
aside, yeah.
but yeah, I think it's important to find a balance with that and
find a balance and recognize the sacrifices.
right. All right, so I have another question. Let me pull it up here. All right, so what's the thing about creating music that frustrates you the most, and what about that frustrating thing needs to happen in order to create?
Good question. I feel like I knew that was gonna happen. I feel like with music, when creating, I feel like the most frustrating thing is like when you can't find that word, or when you can't find that rhyme, or you're missing like you know that you already got it, your brain already saw it, but you're still not putting it on paper. So I feel like with that, it's like, damn, so you're frustrated, and then somebody's like, that happened to me the other day. I was trying to finish writing something, and then my girl's just walking around the house trying to talk to me, and I'm like, yeah, sure, yeah. And I'm like, what was that word I told you yesterday? this. No, not that. God damn it. Fuck. And it's like, she's like, oh, yeah, we're going to go do groceries. I'm like, yeah, sure. All right. And then
Yeah,
you're
yeah,
not,
go ahead.
Yeah, go ahead. Oh, I want to kill myself. Yeah, for sure. It's like, we don't condone that, but as an example. But like, I think that's the most frustrating thing because you feel like, you kind of touch yourself in a way, pause. You frustrate yourself so much because you are your own worst critic at the end of the day, and then you're like telling yourself like, oh God, how can you be such a idiot? You can't fix this. Like, you can't. You know this, but why can't you do it? But I guess that needs to happen in some sense, because that frustration drives the energy and pushes you towards that place of like, all right, let's get into Zen mode, and do it. It's almost like when Goku gets beaten up and that guy needs, like, you see him, you're like, damn, bro, you gonna stand up, bro?
Yeah, bro.
And then he stands up and he's like, "Ah," it's like, damn, he needed to get hit like that in order for him to go ahead and beat the guy, like that. So this is our mascot.
This is Azula from the Fire Tribe, the Fire Nation, excuse me. All she does is create chaos in our lives.
And she doesn't care.
And she don't care. She'll just look at you and meow.
What about you?
I think it's finding the right, finding the like the tone.
Okay.
Of when you cause like when I write, like I'm trying to hear it in my voice, how I want it to sound, right? Okay. So once it's done written, like I try to rehearse it, but then it's not coming out how I hear it in my head, So I think that sucks when you can't get it out and you're like, fuck, why isn't it coming out how I heard it in my head, And then it's like
that gets
that you like you just gotta keep going, and then it's until sometimes it takes months to get that. Oh, okay, now I know how that tone came out, because even when I first started making music, you remember my tone back then.
Yeah,
like, it was like
different. It was different.
It was like being held back a little bit, and like I didn't know.
You were trying to find your tone.
Right, exactly. Right. I think that was the most difficult thing for me.
Yeah, I was listening back to the songs. My bad to cut you off. Yesterday I was listening back to our old songs, and I was like, damn, like I sounded horrible, But it's because, and I think we were in the car, and I remember this moment. We were showing a song to Natalie and Patty in the car, and then I think Natalie.
Which one was it? Do you remember?
I don't know. I don't even want to remember. But I remember the moment Patty was here. I remember this. Natalie was here behind me. I was sitting in the passenger seat, and then she said, "No, that's good. At the end of the day, you gotta just find your tone." And I'm like, "Damn."
There it is.
I remember that for the rest of my life, and I feel like recently, after 4 years, I feel like finally I found my tone. And it's not even about finding the tone; it's like recognizing that you're okay with the way you sound, because most of the times it's just judging yourself.
Yep.
And that just takes a lot. And then with what you said, as far as like the frustration, and you can't get it the way it sounds here. Sometimes it even takes to like scrap whatever you wrote and forget about that, and then you create something new. And then thanks to this, it got you to this song that you did. Because it happens to me.
Because sometimes, bro, I hate the way I hear myself when I'm talking. But like when I hear like myself rapping and shit,
you're like, damn.
I'm like, okay, I like how I'm sounding here. And then I go back to old songs that I'm like, bro, what the fuck was I even thinking?
Right, yeah.
Like, what the fuck?
Yeah, but then at the end of the day, all that needed to happen in order for you to find yourself. And it's practice, rinsing, repeat, and all that. So
yeah, because it's not the first day you make a song is not gonna be the number one hit. Like if you do, that's crazy.
That's amazing. Yeah,
it's amazing. But I feel
it happens.
But I feel like if that does happen, it doesn't build that character that you want to have.
You don't have music. Like, I guess that practice or that pain.
Right, of being like, I could do better.
That frustration.
Yeah, like, no, this is not like I like what I wrote, but no.
But then I gotta go again.
Yeah. You got questions for me?
You already did your questions?
Yeah,
You did two,
those are
right? You said so.
the
Yeah,
yeah.
I do got a question, sir. My good sir. What is the most memorable moment regarding music, and what were you in your early life? I'm trying to practice my
Memorable,
British accent. No,
memorable.
no. What is your most memorable moment regarding music, and where were you in the early stages of your life? Like, for example, I don't
Like
mean
as
to
a
say
kid
like
type shit.
maybe as a kid, but towards teenage years, and maybe something like that that you can remember. You're like, damn, and it kind of like pinpointed to that beginning per se of music.
Of like creating and
Yeah,
stuff.
right.
I would say I was in the passenger seat when my family went to church on I think it was like a Wednesday or a Sunday. I remember
Right.
it was because Wednesdays it's like casual day, but like still like stuff that they do there, and you can play basketball, whatever.
Okay.
It's like rec day, like
Right.
recreational day,
Yeah.
and then Sunday's like the day you go wear a suit, all that
Formal.
fun.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So I think we were playing they were playing a song on the radio, and I was just singing along to it, just cause that was like something that like when I was with my family, like that's what I would do if I heard a song I liked, I would sing along to it,
Okay.
and like I think it was my mom. She was like, "Bro, you should start singing. Like you sound good."
Wow.
And I was like, "Damn, for real?" I was like,
Damn.
"Okay." So then it gave me that like confirmation, I was like, damn, okay, I can try this. So then I joined like the choir for the church or
Mm-hmm.
whatever, and they would have me doing solos and stuff, and I was like, okay, this is cool, But I remember the it was Christmas, I think. Like Christmas, I had to do like the solo in front of the whole church.
Damn.
So it was like a big ass crowd, like the whole whatever that room is
Right.
where they have the sermons and shit.
Don't know
I don't know
anything,
what
but
it's
I know
called.
exactly what you're talking
The
about. Yeah.
freaking cathedral, whatever. So I had to sing in front of everybody. I was like, fuck. I had the my coach or whatever. She was like behind in front of the podium, like, and like so nobody could see her, but
Right.
like I could see her, and like
She was kind of like
she was
giving
kind
you.
of like guiding me, like she was like my teleprompter type
Right.
shit,
Right.
cause
Right.
cause I would like we had to rehearse the song, but then I would have to like if I got stuck, she would sing it with me.
Mm.
So like, but softly, so I can be like, oh, okay, that's what it was.
That's the next the cue.
Right, exactly. So then when I did that, I was like, okay, this is great, but I don't think I could do this again. It terrified me. I was like,
Right.
I was a
You're a
kid. I
kid.
was like 11, 10, 9. I
Yeah,
don't
bro.
remember
Fuck that.
what age I was, but that during that time, that's when I really like. I was like, oh, okay, like music can be created,
Mm.
can be done, and it was
You can take
cool.
that route. You
Right.
found
So
that route.
I kept thinking about the three throughout the years. Obviously, just life happens as you're growing up, you're being a kid and shit.
Mm.
And it's like it was more like towards high schools when I started like,
Visualizing that.
yeah, like, and then seeing other kids like freestyling in class, freaking doing little rap battles in lunch or whatever, and like doing the beats on the table type shit,
Like yeah, but that's
Yeah, they'll
that.
do the beatbox on the table and shit, and I'll be like, damn, bro, that's fucking cool.
I want to do
bro.
that. Yeah.
Yeah.
I with me, I one of the most I guess memorable things that I have is from like in Venezuela. I also joined the choir and all that crap, and my family kind of put me onto it of trying to do that. They always wanted me to play like the piano and all that, but I've my family never had the enough I guess funds financially to go ahead and put me on it, so I never got it. Um, but with me like playing and I did I think I was like 10 or 11. I had already been singing and all that for the school and all that. They put me to do a Michael Jackson Thriller. That was horrible. They literally also got me like the dress, not the dress, the suit. Gave me like the red suit on Thriller and all that, and I was like, fuck, bro.
No
And I had to do a
shit.
whole dance and all that, and I was like, bro, I don't want to do this. But it was like it was a bunch of people that were there. But I don't know, for some reason I've always been involved in that, and then connecting it to I guess I express myself through drawing and all that, most of it, because my dad, and that's goes back connecting it to what Willie, the three of us talked about, how what promises you'll make to your kids.
Yeah.
What you promise to make, what you promise to do for them, and what you promise never to do. Um, and like my dad never, I guess, supported me towards like the drawing. He always thought that it was like a hobby and something. Like when I saw it, obviously yes, it is a hobby, but if you put work into it, you can become an architect. You can go ahead. There's so many avenues that you could take. And because of having that at an early stage of life, I kind of like it deviated me from seeing that as something that I could pursue. So then moving here at 14, 15 years old, then I kind of lost the passion because it kind of got my dad became, and as everybody else's role model, your mom in this case for you, or my dad in this case for me, becomes that inner voice when you don't have yourself in it because you're growing up and you're finding it. My dad got inside my head and became my inner voice, and I heard that, oh, this is just a hobby, let it go, don't pay much attention to it. So I kind of like automatically, to the point that I couldn't draw anymore. So like that got to me deeply, and then coming here and having to learn the language and all that, I fell in love with music, and then I started seeing people just rapping also, and then just like making beats and then all that hip hop stuff and the rhyming schemes that I started listening to Rakim, and I was like, man, how can you say this? And then I'm just, at the end of the day, I end up seeing like Kendrick was coming up around those years, J. Cole was coming up around those years, and then people just wanted to rap, and then people younger than me were rapping, and I'm like, man, I kind of want to do that. And I guess, connecting it to that, I started writing, and I want to say that's one of the most memorable things that music wise, where it all started was from that. It stemmed from that, from seeing other people doing it, but recognizing that they're just people. At the end of the day, you can. They all have 74 hours. They all have the same hours that you have. They all have one life. They all human beings. They just they either were born with it, or they had something, and they pursued it fully. Like Eminem, I didn't know that Eminem was he liked comics, and he wanted to be an artist, like drawing, because he liked comics and shit. I didn't know that. So that already, I connected with that too, because I'm like, damn, he probably like the same way, like he's kind of like me.
That's dope.
Yeah, that's dope too. Yeah, and then I feel like everybody just has their own moments of creative, startup with not they. I mean, maybe some people start with music, but some people, I feel like they start with something else.
Right.
And at the end of the day, it's creative. It's art.
Right.
Kind of transitions everywhere. So.
Yeah, because it could also be influenced the other way around too. An artist can be influenced by a rapper.
Yes, of course.
And, or a painter could be inspired by a movie.
Yep.
So it's inspiration all around. Or vice versa. All in betweens. I have a question.
What?
When was the first time you actually recorded a track? Was it with us, or was it?
No. I mean, well, if you remember, then I'll explain the story. When I left to Kentucky, as I because of issues that I was having with my parents and issues at work and all that, I decided to take the initiative to move with a friend of mine, ex-friend of mine, to Kentucky, with another friend of mine, still friends to this day. And then, I was in the early stages of meeting Brent. I already knew Gabriel. Gabriel was my coworker at the time. And they kind of like saw it like, all right, this is going to be the last time we're going to see this guy. And then when I was over there, I had a friend of mine called Mazer, that he's a DJ. He's very into it, EDM and dubstep and just, that type of music, basically. I was also into that music too. And then now that I remember, I always forget these times, but with him, when I started 17, 18, I will always go with him, and I will be into that music with him, and I will create, and then he'll have the DJ set and whatever. Okay. I will always be involved in it. So that's what I'm saying. Like art, it's just everywhere. Art is not a square. It's kind of like a circle. It goes around. You get me? You can go. You can be an artist. You can touch every single base and be an artist. So. I recorded the first song that I could say that I recorded was in a closet with a fucking laptop from like 2010 with some like fake ass headphones, a little mic on the side, and I sounded horrible, bro. Something that I also did was I'll record I would listen, I would plug in the the headphones to the computer, record, or I mean hit play, and then I'll record myself on my
On the
phone,
phone. Okay.
and then we'll
Okay.
transfer the file, and I'm like, damn, this sounds, and I would be so hype, and I feel like that's the first time, and then Gabriel and Brant were trying to make a studio, and then around that time I was coming back, and that's where it all happened. But I had already had some experience with it, but not as much as obviously I gained with you guys and all that. So
Right. Yeah. Because we were all learning together. Because
yeah, step by step.
I kind of dived into the how it functions because that was the most like important to get the track just recorded. Period. And then they focused on writing and stuff like that. And sometimes I want like for me I wonder
If you would have,
if I would have just focused on writing, like
what would
would
you
I
be?
be better now than I was then?
I don't know. I feel like you would be, but at the same time, there's many artists that start like that, and then they just find their own way,
Right.
step by step. Because I feel like you can get better anytime. I think it takes longer for you to go. Like the way that you went was the best way, I believe, because then you dominated that to the fullest. You're self sufficient,
Right.
and now all it takes is just getting better. There's
Right.
no,
That's true.
there's no,
You're right.
you know,
There's no
there's no other way to take it.
roadblock. There's no
Yeah,
roadblock.
yeah, it's already free
Right.
game. You get me?
Yeah.
Like but now that if you were to have gotten better in writing, like or whatever, like for example, me or Gabriel, then you kind of now have to take steps back and retrack yourself on the whole mixing and mastering and stuff like that. That can get daunting and you're like, damn, like I'm good at recording and I'm good writing. Now I gotta sit down and do this. It's like you didn't build that until you have it.
Right.
It's like learning to eat good and working out. It's like, let's say you were working out this whole time and now you gotta eat good because you're getting old. It's like, damn, now I gotta eat good. But if you would have done that earlier in your life, you would have been accustomed and used to the
Right.
habits and all those things. So I don't think it's a bad idea. What about you? What was the first time that you
First
recorded?
time actually was it was this guy I knew from school.
Okay.
He was already doing music, like he was like trying to like focus on that, do that full time. I don't know if he still does or not, but he had a friend that had like a mic and like stuff
Okay.
like that. So I had something like written already to like some YouTube beat or whatever.
Okay.
And I was like, he's like, bro, we could record it. It's fine. Like, let's do it. And I think when I recorded it, it was the first time hearing myself like being recorded, and then like it was just so jarring for me. I was like, bro, what the hell is happening?
Right.
And then the one thing that stuck with me still to this day is like who are you talking to when you're recording? Like who are you speaking with? And talk to that person. That's what what recording is all about. Is like who are you speaking to?
Visualize who you speak to.
Yeah, visualize because that's what will bring that that energy. That's what will bring that cadence, that tone,
It
that
focus
everything.
your energy.
Right, because then after that, kind of like hyped me up, and I'm like, okay. But like me at the time, I was like, I'm just talking to everybody, like. But it's like no, it's like who you speaking to? Like you need to speak to somebody, It's like even if you go to like in a high school and you're the freaking the one giving the speech, like
Who you talking?
you're talking to the high school kids.
Right.
You're not talking to freaking I don't know. You're not the president,
Yeah,
like
and
talking to
you measure your tone. You figure it
right,
out.
right. Because if the president's talking to the United States, or like Putin is talking to Russia when he's
Yeah.
talking to his people, like he's not talking about the world. He's not talking like so. That's kind of like where that framework came in my head. I'm like, okay, so you got to talk to somebody and relate to them, in that sense. It's not just because bars are important because bars are fire.
Yeah, it's
Bars
not
are
only
fun
your
to make.
think beyond yourself.
Right, but it's like, but who you talking to? Could be just you talking to yourself,
So like, I guess connecting it to what you were talking about, the presidents and all that. I don't know if you saw that clip where in 9/11 they were telling President Bush that happened, and he's in a classroom
Of
when
the
it happened
kids.
with
Yeah,
kids,
yeah.
and they tell him you can see his face, but then he
Yeah.
was cool, collected because he was
Yep.
like, yo, I'm in a room full of kids,
Right.
so if I freak
If
out,
it, right.
it
It's
depends on
gonna
you. It's yeah,
exactly.
like you're a mirror to them, they're kids, so
It's
how
gonna
can you?
traumatize these kids.
Yeah, just take it cool, take it calm. So it
Right.
goes to that. Like if you're in the studio, or like even performing, you're here, you're a performer, you're an artist. Be the artist, and these are the audience. These are the audiences, or this is the crowd. This is your crowd, dominated. This is you. They're there to be not dominated by you, because that's your crowd. You're now the main course of it.
Right.
Be it, or at least act like it. You're gonna
Right.
move like it.
Yeah, because you're not gonna go to a freaking kids concert and
Sing
start
Metallica.
cursing, yeah, or start talking your shit, and freaking cursing and whatever and killing babies or whatever,
Yeah,
you know.
you can tell a 5-year-old that you're gonna die soon.
Yeah.
Or someday you're gonna die.
Yeah, some shit like that. Yeah, exactly.
Watch out.
So I think that was an important lesson that I got from my very first like studio session, you could say, So, and I always think about that every time I go to record. Like, all right, who am I talking to? And then, well, obviously, sometimes it's more like, all right, how do I want to approach this?
Okay.
Like.
Do you think when you record, do you think how you're gonna approach this sometimes, or do you just go into it automatically, or is it both?
Sometimes it's whatever like the song is asking for. Sometimes it'll just like what the song makes me feel was what will drive the topic in the lyrics.
Okay. Yeah, I do feel that. I feel like sometimes either I'm the same way. But sometimes I feel like it's just like you kind of you're being too serious about it, but the song demands for you to be mellow and relaxed.
Right.
So you
Yeah.
kind of like have to let it go.
Because like the project that I'm working on is kind of serious. It's kind of like
Personal.
it's personal. But like the next project I want to do is I want it to be like fun, laid back, chill. Like club hits or whatever. No, don't get the mic, please. Like I want it to be just having fun. Because I don't want it to always be like serious. Because being serious is not always fun,
Yeah, you can touch different topics,
Right,
different
exactly.
areas and emotions that we were talking about.
Exactly, yeah, because music is emotion, it's movement, everything is moving different ways and stuff. So I think it's the same thing, balance.
Yeah.
It all comes down to balance.
Well, I have a question.
No.
Yeah, she was tapping my mic too, so be careful. Do you feel like peer pressure affects your music more now than it did before, or less now that you have created what you have created?
That's a good question. I feel like less now.
Okay. Yeah, I
Yeah.
was gonna say less too.
Yeah, because
Before, since you don't have your tone.
right, it would influence like, oh, you gotta do the ignorant stuff, or you gotta
Sound
come.
like this.
Yeah, you have to like sound this way. Like, I have my own views about that. I still want it to sound cool, obviously, because that's like hip hop is cool. But I think it's more like, how can I make my own person? God damn it! How can I make it cool without compromising myself?
Okay.
I think that's where everyone should be like thinking about, like, because I see people that do influencing and stuff like that, like social media people and stuff, and they'll just do
They compromise, yeah.
whatever's going on and whatever, and then you see some people that are like, nah, fuck that, I want to do this how I want to, and they're better off for it. They're not sacrificing that their self.
Themselves, yeah. I feel like with me, I've had that thing where I've always been eager to be a creator. But with, like, for example, I became certified as a personal trainer, and I went into that world, and I guess I viewed it a little bit, and then it kind of became almost like you have to be an influencer on social media in order for you to get the attraction that you want. but it also comes from the love that you have for it. So I guess I didn't have enough love to it because right now, not saying that I'm an influencer right now or have created, but I've been more active than I've ever been in my life with social media.
Right.
But I feel it's because I have so much love for what I'm doing right now that nothing is stopping me from going ahead and being so active. But back
Right.
then, I view people doing, the whole influencer fitness stuff like that, and I'm like, kind of like it looks fake
Also, like, I'm trying to
sometimes.
get comfortable right now, but also like if you see, there's that one guy that sells like products, but he doesn't even believe in it. And like he I think he's in the fitness
Oh yeah.
universe. Yeah, I forgot where he's talking about. Oh, that you don't have to eat like clean or whatever. You can eat whatever you want.
Oh yeah,
Some shit like
I
that.
think I've seen him. Yeah.
I'm not gonna say names because I don't want to promote that, but basically like you can see in his face that he's just doing this for the money, like
Yeah, you don't want to be that person.
you don't, because that you're selling your soul. That's essentially what it is. You're selling who you believe you are, and
Yeah, you'll get wherever you think that you're gonna get, but then at what cost?
exactly
Like
right.
So the other question that I had was, uh, do you feel that you get to a place where you feel like you run out of creativity,
Yeah,
and how do you get yourself out of it?
I think I let it. I It's a problem that I'm trying to work on right now, but I kind of just let it
Breathe.
come and go. Yeah, like I let it come naturally, But sometimes I want to
You don't have to be in the podcast.
because
Watch out.
I want to be more. I want to be more consistent with creating and being more active, because like I feel like I'm wasting time if I'm not.
Creating.
Right.
I'm the same way.
Because like, for example, yesterday I did a bunch of shit and then I had like 2 hours of free time. So I did laundry, and then like while I'm waiting for the laundry to finish, I'm just like sitting there. I'm like, bro, I could just do something right now, but I'm like locked to my chair right now. I'm like, I don't know what else to do.
Yeah, you're bored.
And then I'm just waiting. I'm like, but at the same time, boredom is good too. Boredom.
Yeah, it brings
creates
thoughts. Yeah.
creativity.
Yeah.
And I think that's important too, to build creativity. Because if you're always stimulated, which I'm a victim of that. I think we're all a victim of that. Is being constantly searching for that stimulation, and yeah. So I think. What was the question again?
No. The question was like getting to a place where you ran out of creativity,
Yeah.
and how do you get out?
Yeah,
of it?
that
So-
I think the strategy should be, obviously be consistent, but know when to take a break and let yourself be bored. Stop it.
I feel you. I feel like with me, when I get to that place, I feel like I always forget, but then subconsciously I do it, which is like stepping away from it and just letting it breathe, and going ahead and maybe I'm trying to write, but it feels like I'm maybe forcing it, or maybe just keep on playing, video games for a little bit and kind of like just, because at the same time we are artists, and how King shout out to King Dushes because he did tell me that. Like,
Great guy.
we are artists, but then at the same time we forget that we're humans, we're brothers, we're sisters, we're fucking fathers. Some people, we're a son, we're a daughter. I don't know. We're so many things. We're a worker. So like you have so many boyfriend, girlfriend. You have so many things involving in your life that you forget you're not only an artist. You have a life going on. So you have other things to pay attention to. You got to do laundry. You got to go take a shower, go eat, take care of yourself, do maintenance on yourself. I don't know, man.
Talk to your mom,
Yeah, man, kind of like step out and whatever.
Yeah.
Like, I feel like if I wouldn't have, for example, gone and watched, for example, Jujutsu Kaisen, which is an anime that I watch, I wouldn't have been able to write a verse that I wrote, because I said the verse I started with Lucha Felipe, shout out to him. One of the first words that I say is shadow style. I got that from the show, and I'm like, damn, shadow style,
That's
I
cool.
belong by the clouds. I got it from there.
That's cool.
Or like the other song that I did was the Ghost of Tsushima. I was playing the Ghost of Tsushima, so I'm like, I got that from that. But I wouldn't have gone it if I would have gone back and played the game again and take a little second to just kind of like, let yourself rest and reward yourself for all the work that you did, which I'm a victim of that sometimes, that I feel like I haven't done work even though that I was up for like 22 hours, full wig. Yeah, man. Like, but it's so hard.
Right.
Even
Yeah.
like us, and that's, I guess, trying to make you feel better about yourself. Like, look at me doing all these things, barely sleeping, and all these things, and I feel like I haven't done enough. It's
Right.
like, bro, like, man, you're all over the fucking world. You're like flying around. It's like, you think you haven't done enough? Like, you're serious? Like, what the
Right.
fuck? So like that gets daunting, and then with me, I
Because you kind of like beating yourself up about it, but it's like
about it, yeah.
But it's also like you gotta look back
And say like,
look
damn.
at what I have done already.
So
like,
far, yeah. Like this week, I've done
what you
this
can
thing,
do. Yeah, like and that's also like a beauty and a curse.
Yeah, to
you
have,
know,
because you're always
blessing
pushing
and a curse.
yourself. But you have to find the balance of saying, hey man, you know what? Today I probably need to stay and chill and all that. Damn.
Just scared the shit out of me.
Yeah, she's scared too. She's scared me too.
Bro.
But
But yeah, so like it's hard to keep yourself like
at bay with that. Yeah.
right, because then it can hurt you. You can hurt yourself.
It goes back to what we were talking about
Yep.
at the beginning. It could be that curse that killed you and took you away.
Right,
So,
exactly.
but well, I guess closing out with this, what we're gonna talk about shows
Yeah.
actually. So what was the show?
Show that I guess well we could well, I'm gonna just talk about a random show, but maybe we could talk next time about a show that influenced a song of yours or something
Okay,
like that.
yeah, for
We
sure.
can do that. But I was watching Presumed Innocent.
I haven't watched the last episode, so
Bro.
yeah,
bro.
you kind of already spoiled it. So
My bad.
yeah.
I thought he watched it already.
Yeah, but I mean, Pursue Innocent. This is that show. If you guys haven't watched it, we highly recommend it. It's based on a novel and a movie that was made, and I think the main character back then, and it was 1998 or 1999. It was Harrison Ford, super young back then.
Really? I didn't know that. Okay.
So the novel, it was different from the outcome that you gave me at the end. I believe, because I think I read it correctly. But it's basically this prosecutor from Boston, I believe it is.
Something like that,
Yeah,
yeah.
or New York, could be mistaken.
Something from something north.
He has a family, 2 kids, wife, and all that, and then he's a prosecutor. He loses an election for prosecutor, gets demoted, obviously, new prosecutor in town or whatever, and then one of his coworkers gets murdered in a most horrific way possible, and he is found, being prosecuted by the murder because there's so many things lining him up to be the killer of that coworker of his.
There was so much circumstantial,
proof.
circumstantial evidence.
Yeah,
but like
well,
not.
yes, circumstantial
Yeah,
evidence,
it was
yes.
all circumstantial, but it wasn't like enough to like
Nail
he did
him.
it.
Yeah,
Like
exactly.
he did it. So
And-
it goes through that whole case of that whole trial
and showing
basically.
because he had a relationship, he had an affair with her, and he went through all those stages of like he fell in love with her, like almost like he wanted her. It was she was her drug, his drug
Right.
to that point.
And he was married with
Yeah, he
kids.
was married with kids
Right.
and all that. So it's like all that. It's so, I guess the show captivates you because it's so real and it's
Right.
nothing factual. It's very non-fictional type of thing, and it
Right.
can happen to anybody. And I've always told this to myself and thought about it this way, that what you're seeing is a show, but then it kind of like the art of the show, it makes you picture yourself like, what if that's me?
Yep.
At some point,
Right.
because in one part of the
Yep.
show he says, he was talking to his therapist. I don't know if you remember this, and he says like, my dad cheated on my mom, and I told myself I would never do that, and then here he is doing that. It's like, damn, and I even connect with that because I'm like, damn, like, what if my dad cheated on this, and how I promised not to do what my dad did to me, and then I go ahead and do
the
it for
same
some
thing.
reason,
Right.
and that connects. I don't know, just little things like that connect to a different level. So
It just reflects real life and in a
Yes.
good way, and it shows that like if that happened for real, like if that happened to you,
what would you do?
well, yeah,
Or
that's
how
the
would you
scenario.
act? Yeah.
Yeah, because like if you act guilty, you're fucked.
Yeah.
But
yeah,
if you're
man.
innocent and you act guilty, you're fucked.
Yeah, it's
You
like
know, it's
there's
like-
no way around it. You
Right.
gotta like, I don't know, man. There's so like how and then every single episode is like, what the fuck? You know, it's like, man, he did this. Why would you do this? You know, and
Right,
it's, but then
right.
again, why would you do this? But what would you do if you were
But
in that
like,
spot?
yeah, and he talks about it. He's like, bro, like, what would you do if
Yeah,
you were here? You know, like,
and nobody gives him an answer.
right, and it's like nobody cares what he's saying. He's like, they're automatically assuming,
Chastising him as
right?
a
They're already
killer. Yeah,
like, nah, he it's him. It was
yeah,
him.
yeah. It's
And
crazy.
that does talk about like what's happening today, you know, and
Hmm.
with like cancel culture and stuff. Like,
Yeah,
I think it's kind of over now, but because everybody gets canceled nowadays. But
yeah.
it just shows like, you know, uh,
Something
no
that can
matter,
seem.
right, like even if you weren't even in the same country and you get accused automatically, you're like, nah, bro,
You
you
did,
did
yeah,
it,
that's it.
you did it. It's like with the whole Drake and Kendrick, the
Hmm.
allegations from each other. He beat his
Yeah,
wife.
he beat his wife.
Did
That's
he?
it. Huh.
Yeah, it's like, nah, he did it. Or
Yeah.
oh, he likes little kids. It's like,
Hmm.
but you don't. There's no evidence there, you know.
To support that, yeah, yeah.
Right.
It's comparing it to the Diddy stuff. Then yeah, you have evidence.
Right.
You know,
Exactly.
it's like damn.
It's
You
very
know.
different. They're very
So
different. Yeah.
the other show that we were going to talk about was Tokyo Vice. I don't know
Tokyo
if you
Vice
guys
is
watched it.
fire. Yeah.
You should.
Yeah.
Great show.
I think that's also based on a memoir.
Yes, it
Yeah.
is. It is, and it tells the story of the yakuza back in I don't know what type of year.
Like the '90s or something like
Yeah,
that around
yeah,
there.
and then tells the story about a guy from the United States. He moves to Japan, and he's a reporter. He kind of like was running away from his life here in the United States. He didn't want to be with his family, and what he wanted to do was pursue his career as a reporter and as a writer and all that. And then he kind of went and did that, and he was documenting and looking into the yakuza and the crimes and all that. And he met with this detective and all that. It's an amazing show. I'm a nerd and I'm a fan of the Japanese culture and
He's
all
great.
and the
Love
city and the views and everything else. You know, I'm so infatuated by it that it baffles me to a different level.
Can't
But
wait to visit Japan.
yeah, man, that's a dream of mine
It's so
to
fucking
do.
fun. I bet
Um,
it's so fun to be there.
but yeah, man, the show just the fight scenes, the honor that showed, the how they do the ceremonies and all that, and the tattoos of the yakuza. I'm not saying obviously that's crime and all that, but it's
Yeah,
just
even though they're criminals, they did it in a way that's
it seemed respectful.
honorable. Yeah,
It's honor. Yeah, you get me. It's
yeah.
like, what was it that he said? You know, they one of the oh
The
he killed
heads.
yeah he
Yeah,
killed one of
one of
our
the
own, and they're like everybody turned around. He's like, you killed one of our own? Are you serious? And like boom, you're dead. You know,
Right.
like how are you gonna do this? That's
Right.
you lost your honor, bro.
Right.
You know, whatever.
Like that's like killing your brother.
Yeah, man, and it's like I think Japan and the Japanese culture holds a different regard with respectfulness and honorable.
Than other cultures, yeah.
It's like than
Yeah.
other cultures I've ever seen. I could be wrong, but I mean, like so much respect. And I've been told this before from people that have visited, that they respect the way that people treat you. I don't know about the criminality of all those things. I've never been there. I can't
course,
talk about
yeah.
that. But like the way people look at you, respectfulness. I believe you can't hand. What was it? You're not supposed to hand money to directly, or you leave it on the table like respectfully. You don't give a handshake. Things like that. That it's like, damn, mannerism. That's lost.
Yeah,
nowadays.
that's true. Manners, yeah.
And like you go over there, and it's like, wow, people may be nice to a different level. That you're like, who the fuck am I? Where the fuck have I been?
It's like going to Canada and everyone's super nice.
Everyone's
and
super
you're
nice, and you're like,
"What?"
why you being so nice, bro? What the fuck? You
I
know?
went to Denver like four or 5 years ago. Well, my ex, she was my ex during that time.
Okay.
But we went to the city, bro, and it was just such a culture shock for me because everyone was saying hello. No matter what, if you pass by them, they're like, hello, good
Yeah,
afternoon,
man.
you know? And it was just like, what the hell is happening right now? Because
I feel like-
we're from Miami and
Yeah.
our culture is like, fuck you, like I don't know you,
And
I'm
that's
gonna
what I'm
cut you
saying.
off, fuck you,
Yeah,
you know?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, I feel like once you step out of that, obviously, yeah, different parts of the United States is different, but I feel like the United States as is, or from what I think or feel, majority is like we don't have that mannerism. because
Yeah.
everybody's just caught up in their own world. You probably go to Europe also, it may be the same, you know.
Right.
So I don't know. I feel like that Tokyo Vice showcases that a lot.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, man, I guess you want to close it out.
Yeah. I did have another question, but let me see if it's the Tokyo Vice. I want to say is it was very relevant to what we were talking about today.
Yes.
Very relevant as far as the journalism and how he ran away from, he sacrificed
Time.
his
Yeah,
family
yeah,
and
his
his
family,
stuff,
yeah.
and I think that's relevant if you guys watch that. Like, it's very relevant to what we're talking about today. Ooh, okay. Well, how do you feel about the debate writing your own stuff and ghostwriting? No.
How do I feel about writing
Like,
your own and ghostwriting?
right.
If you're gonna do ghostwriting, you can go ahead and do so, but then don't go ahead and feel bad if we don't call you an artist or a writer, because in reality you're not,
Right.
to a certain extent. Because Chris Brown has written
You're a
stuff.
performer at that point.
You're a performer. Chris
Right.
Brown has written a lot of stuff for people, I believe. Just like there's many artists that I've seen that have written a lot of things for other artists, but that doesn't mean that you're a writer.
Yeah, because I think especially in the genre of hip hop, it's important that you write your own things.
Yeah, because you want to be classified as that person,
Right.
and that's what your aim
Because
is.
that's what you're portraying is who you are.
You can't be the greatest if you're,
Exactly. How
like
can you be? Yeah.
Dre has gotten things written
For him.
for him, like Jay-Z wrote. Still Dre. He wrote that verse for Dre.
The
Yeah.
verse. Okay.
But that's fine.
But that's
and
okay.
Dre talks about it all the time.
Right.
If you're being open about it, then that's perfect. To me,
Right.
that's perfect.
As long as it's like you understand why you did it, and because at the end of the day, like, when especially when artists do that, it's more about the hit,
Right.
more
Yeah.
about creating the best product in that aspect, because
Yeah.
I feel like it's more important in that avenue. I think it's more important to get it out than to take your time and write it yourself.
Okay. That creating rather than making.
Right.
Right.
Yeah, because Dre's more of a producer than anything, So like, I don't think you can fault him for that,
No, you can't. But he's in that avenue of creating and stuff like that. But then if you're gonna go ahead and try to, for example, go toe to toe with like a Eminem or a Kendrick Lamar, and you don't even write your stuff, it's like, don't go ahead and cry in the corner if we're here calling you out and you're losing, and then
Right.
you suck now.
Right.
So
That's like 8 Mile and Papa Doc with the final
that was
battle.
crazy. That was crazy. I can still
It's
watch
like-
that to this day. That was
It's
crazy.
still fire. Yeah. But yeah, I think that should be it for now.
It's a wrap.
Tune in next month. We'll talk about some new stuff, and yeah, hope you guys enjoyed hanging out with us, seeing our cat here, and yeah, take care.
See you soon.
Later.
All right. Good.
Cool. Oh, Jesus, my leg.